All right, so we have already installed the Active Directory Domain Controller DNS and the ICE1 and ICE2, and we do have also installed the router, which was very quick. And now the third part will be the Cisco switch and the servers and the PCs. So currently on this video series, I'm only interested on these three devices. So that's the reason I'm not proceeding with this phase now. So next we will be proceeding with the different topic that will be the accessing of the GUI or seeing what is there in the GUI and what are the different options on that one. All right, so let's go to our domain controller and I will log in into my ICE. This is the first time I'm logging in. And the mo is 123 hash. This is the same password which I provided when we are installing the ICE. And click on, don't want to save that one. So it's still loading. And now if I want to take, I will also do one thing. I will also download the PuTTY so that I can take the SSH connection of the Cisco ICE. So what this one, 64-bit. All right, so now once you're logged in, if you want to provide your Cisco ID in order to synchronize with your smart account, then you can provide here. So, but since we are doing the lab, so I will just say provide later, click on next. And now you do not have any active smart license. So that's a warning. So don't worry, but you are in the, by default, it will take you into the evaluation, accept and close. All right, so now here you can see that it's an evaluation mode with 90 days. So let me see if, okay, so PuTTY has been also done. And click on OK. I will install that one also. Next, next, and install. All right, so now I'm able to log in into the GUI. So let's see about the SSH connection. Okay, where is that one PuTTY? And I will say that 192, or I can use the domain name ice1.sysable.com on port number 22. Click on accept, and I can see that I can have the login page. So I will just increase that one. Change settings, appearance. I will change the font to 16 and apply. So the username will be admin and the password will be mois123 hash. So if your password is correct, then it should show you that successfully logged in. So now you have successfully logged in. So that means my GUI and the SSH connection is working, CLI. So now let's explore to the GUI now. So in this one, you see that whenever you log into your ICE, you will see a dashboard now. This is the dashboard where by default, Cisco has provided you the details which you do require in a daily life. Okay, so you see that BYOD endpoints authentication, how many authentication has been done, are there any network devices who are going to authenticate, or how many endpoints, everything is there. So now here you will see the total endpoints, active endpoints. So you can click, if you click on that one, it will open a new page. So active endpoints, rejected endpoint, that means failed authentication. Anomalous behavior, that means suspicious behavior on the endpoints. If there are any guests, you will see here BYOD, so here compliance issues over here. Now, these are the different widgets or dashboard, and they are the different options over here. So this is a summary dashboard. This is an endpoint dashboard. So related to the endpoint. So this is related to the cache. This is related to vulnerability, and this is related to the threat. So if you want to add, click on add, and it will ask you what new dashboard you want to create. So if you want to create a new dashboard, you get to go ahead and create a new dashboard saying that custom, and click on save. And on that one, it will ask you what widgets you want to add. So if I close this one, so currently my dashboard is empty. So what I can do is that I can click on here and add dashlets. So basically widgets. So here you will say dashlets. So click on that one and it will ask you what dashlets you want to add. So currently I just want to look for the authentication, compliance, compromised ones. I want to see the device type. I want to see the endpoint. I want to see the BYOD ones. I want to see the top threats and vulnerabilities. I want to see the status of my ICE over here. Endpoint categories. I want to see the network devices, how many of them are. And I want to see the location. And that should be good. Or policy service node, the secondary one. Click on save. You see that maximum is allowed is 9. So I have to select the 9 only. So let me go ahead and select that one. All right, you see that it is now hanging up now. So that's the issues with the virtual devices. So I'll come back here, go to dashlets, and I can select 9 of them. So devices status 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And now it should be added over here. Now you see that policy server, that is our currently running the ICE one. So that is what it is showing up. So this is how you will add your new dashboard. This is how you will add your new dashlets, and you do have option to export or layout template. Template means you see that currently, if you select this one, it will be like one by one. It's very big over here. So layout template. So if I select this one, it will show only 2 of them. But if I select the 3, it will show me the 3 of. So which is what I like. So if you want to make this one as a default dashboard, you can make this one as a default dashboard, and it will, whenever you log in, it will show you this dashboard. So now currently I'm looking to delete this one. So I will click on this one, and if you want to delete, and click on OK. That's it. So creating a new dashboard and deleting the new dashboard, that's how you can do it. Now let's look at the options. Now if I click on this one over here, you will see the options, actual options. Now most of the time you will be using the administrator, work centers, and the policy. So now in the administration, you will have the system where you will see what kind of deployment it is, what kind of license, certificate, logging, maintenance, and everything. These are the different options you can configure. With respect to the identities, in these identities, you will see what is the identity group, what are the different users, and the in the Active Directory or whatever it is. What are the So whenever we are looking into these identities, that means you are looking into the internal database. Now creating the group, that is also with respect to the internal database, that is with respect to the ICE database. I'm talking about that one. External identity, so this is where you will be defining your Active Directory, single sign-on, or SAML over here. And identity source sequence, whenever you have multiple data source identity servers, so you can define a sequence saying that first look into the ICE internal database, then look into the Active Directory, then look into the single sign-on and SAML, so and so. That is how you can define your own sequence. Now the other thing is that network devices. So network devices, that means a NAD, NAD, network authentication device. So that will be network authentication device. So now you do have your ICE that is connected to the switch, and switch is connecting to PC. So this is the one. For this PC, switch is going to authenticate. So this one is acting as a mediator with respect to between the ICE and the endpoint. So this switch is known as a NAT device. Now this switch can be the firewall also. This switch can be the wireless controller also. They can be different devices which can authenticate on behalf of the endpoint. So these devices are known as NAT, network devices. So this is where the network devices, you will define the network devices. You can create the group, and within that group you can define it. And network device profile, you can say that yes, this one is the Cisco device, this one is the Aruba device, this one is the Fortinet device. So you can define the profile also. Now, since ICE is a radius server, so if you have any external radius server, you can add it over here. If you have multiple radius server, then you have to define the sequence, which one should be used first. All right. Now, external MDN, this is for the mobile services, which we are not going to look. Don't worry about it. And the location service, you want to define the locations, like what kind of location defining. So basically, you create a device, and after that, you define the device in a group. And in that group, you will define the location where it is located. So this is how. So first you will define the location, you will create a group, and after that you will create your network device saying that your IP address is so and so, your name is so and so, you belong to so and so group, and you belong to so and so location. Now device portal one, these are for the blacklisted one, BYOD. Basically you can see this is for the guest one. All right, so portals, we are only talking about the portals, not about the actual process here. So basically, we will be looking one by one in the later videos, but overall, I want to just tell you that what options you can see, what are the different capabilities, what you can do with the ICE. Now, PX grids, this is the configuration with the external or third-party device or the Cisco ecosystem, which you can configure using this one. And feed survey, this is a profiler which will help you to identify the what type of device it is. And this is a third-party vendor that was a NAC solution. That means a threat-centric one. So you can integrate your third-party devices and mitigate your malwares. The next option we will be working mostly with the work centers. So work centers, again, the network access, it will show you what are the identities. That means so how many devices are authenticated, what are the MAC addresses, what are the IP addresses, what are the ID groups, how they have been authenticated, which device has authenticated it, which policy does it has been authenticated. So these are the details you can see over here. And now guest access, this is how you will follow the uh, process. So if you click on overview over here, so it will show you the process. So basically you keep on going one by one by time, you can keep on configuring on one by one. So it's a process, the whole thing is like a process, so accordingly you will configure. TrustSec, again the same thing, BYOD is the same thing, profiler, you don't need to do anything much with the profiler, but you need to enable the profiles in order to match those. Posture also, this is for the checking for the compliance of the endpoint. Device administration, this is for the TACAS plus. Passive ID, this is for the Active Directory integration and getting those login details over here. Now coming to the policy, this is where you will create the first thing is that before you go ahead and create your policy sets, you will create your dictionaries, that is means your conditions, or you can create individual conditions, then group them into dictionaries. So individual roles, if it is only an individual role, that is known as condition. If you are having multiple conditions in one section, that is known as dictionary, that is a group of conditions or rules, those are known as dictionaries. And the result, this is where it will show you the results like so and so endpoint has been authenticated with MAC or .1x, and this is the policy has been applied, this is the authorization which will be applied. Now policy set, this is where once you configure your if you go to the results now, you will see that you do have option to configure the authentication, you do have option to configure the authorization. So once you configure the authentication and authorization, so you can define those conditions and policies within the policy set. So you're already creating the authorization section, your condition and everything, but the only thing is that you are dumping everything in the policy set and making together to make a sense. So we will see that one when we come to the authentication part. Now again, the posture, if you want to create any posture things, configure anything with respect to posture, you can go ahead with do with that one. Now operation, this is where you're going to basically you think that this one is your logs. So if you're coming to under the radius, you will see that it's live logs, live sessions, if anything running, or Flex live logs. And with respect to the policy elites and points assignments. So basically for the monitoring or troubleshooting purpose, this is are good. And these are for the reports. So we will look into this one, how to create the reports and say to that one in the later. Context visibility. So you already have that one in your dashboard. So if you go back to your dashboard, this is your context visibility already. So if you want to go for a specific one, you just click on that one. Now, those was the menu options and the guidance. Let's look at the settings now. Make a wish. So if you have something which you want to suggest for the Cisco, then you can make a wish. And if you want to know about the ICE and the server, click on this one. And this is for the account setting with respect to the administrator. So if I click on that one, it should only give me account setting with respect to the administrator. All right, so again, it is hanging up. So now I have assigned the 32 GB of RAM and 4 CPUs, so that's the reason it's keep on hanging up. But if you want to learn ICE recommend you to go with version 2.4 so that it doesn't happen like this in 2.4. So once you become perfect, then you can come back to 3. So now these are the different settings I can change over here. That's all. And click on cancel. And this one should be your passive ID setup shortcut, visibility setup shortcuts, and run endpoint script. So if you want to do some kind of automation, if you are good with writing script, then you can run. So now this is for your help here. So these are the different, if you want to configure, if you want to know how to configure your BYOD or guest everything is been inbuilt over here. So you can just access that one. Okay, so search, if you want to search for any endpoint, you can directly search it from here. So now coming to the alarms now, you see that these are the alarms for the morning of the some kind of, what do we say? Low RAM, low CPUs or DNS resolution failure. So for the lab, you can ignore, but for the production, you have to go through that one. And here you will see what is your CPU usage and what is your RAM usage. So here you see that my RAM is only 21%. I allocated 32 GB. So that means it's only using almost like 8 GB of RAM. But the problem is that when you allocate 8 GB of RAM while installing, it will take a lot of time. That's it. All right, so that's all with the Cisco Ise Gui. I hope this was informative for you, and thank you.